What's up everyone, and welcome back for some more Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle discussion. Today, we're actually going to be talking about something on the Japanese side of the game. As you can see on the screen in front of you, this is clearly not in English. I usually don't talk about the Japanese side of the game. I don't really play the Japanese side or really do a whole lot with that because I just don't have the money to spend on both versions of the game. But this is potentially big news that is going to impact the global version of the game down the line, because this pretty much teases that we are going to now be able to Z-AWAKEN already TUR characters. This gives Super Saiyan 3 Goku as an example, the old school AGL, one of the first Dokkan Fests in the game. I actually think he was like the fourth, I want to say, maybe, if not somewhere in the range of the first few. I think he was right after, I believe the order was Broly, Cell, and Kid Buu, and then this man, then Gogeta, and then Full Power Frieza last. I don't know if that's 100% correct, but this is one of the first Dokkan Fest exclusive cards. At any rate, it was pre-70% leads. This dude's leader skill was AGL types key +3 and attack +3000. That was what used to be considered a god lead for a type. That's how far we've come in the last couple years of the game. This is one of the first Dokkan Fest exclusives, like I said. So the news has now come out that we can now increase this man to a Z-AWAKENed UR, which hasn't really been able to be done yet. It's kind of been this weird area for the last few months where people are wondering, well, they could always give old cards another awakening, but then you'd be into LR, you'd have to invent another tier. This is kind of a middle ground. Instead of inventing a new tier, you can just increase stats. So this is kind of what the goal of the hidden potential system was, in a way, because if you guys don't know, older units in the hidden potential system, like pre 70% leads, and certain cards still other than the pre 70% leads, can go beyond the normal bounds of the hidden potential system organically. For example, if you max out a Gogeta, he can get over 7,000 extra attack, which is not normally the case for strength types. I believe it caps at 5,400 in the hidden potential system at 100% normally, with like a Super Saiyan 4 Goku or a card like that. Older cards have the ability to go above and beyond that. I believe this is one of them. I know for a fact Gogeta is, Full Power Frieza is as well. So I believe it's all the pre-Super Saiyan, or not Super Saiyan, all the pre-Super Vegito and 70% lead cards and beyond. I believe it's just everything before that, although I don't know. There's a better breakdown of this on DBZ Space, but this is basically saying that you can now Z-AWAKEN these old URs, some of them anyway. It doesn't really specify if it's going to be the case for a lot of them, but the ones that it gives us examples of are Demon King Piccolo from the World Tournament, Majin Vegeta, the tech one, and it looks like Int Golden Frieza, I believe that is. I'm not entirely certain. And when you do Z-AWAKEN these, they get up to level 140, which is slightly lower than LR status. LR is obviously 150, and then you can super attack level 15 them. So this is going to be an interesting one, because if these cards are really good with these new upgrades, then you really would be worth putting Elder Kais into these older units, which is going to be a really fascinating thing to watch going forward if this ends up being a big deal, which I'm kind of wary on it being. Now, there are a couple things at stake here. One, these cards might not stay exactly the same when they get these Z-AWAKENing. Their leader skills might change, their passive skill might change, links might change. They have the ability, super attack is the most important, that might change too. They might give some of these immense modifiers when they get Z-AWAKENings. It's not something that's currently in the game or something that we have the knowledge of the game being able to do, but with this new awakening, it might be possible. And it looks like you get these Z-AWAKENing medals from the same exact event. I'm not exactly sure. Let me get a better look at this picture. It just looks like, I don't actually know. It looks like, because it has Z-AWAKENing medals, you can see right here, they're special. It just says Z underneath it. So we'll have to see how this goes going forward, but I just wanted to start some discussion. What do you guys think of this feature? I was talking about this with a couple friends yesterday before this was leaked, about this being a possibility of something that could happen, because I think a lot of these older cards could still be really good if they could keep up in terms of damage. And a great example of that is actually Full Power Frieza, who is considered meta for the Extreme Fizz team. He has only one link skill with Cooler, and he has one of the, I would say, most useless link skills for a Extreme team, which is Over in a Flash. I don't believe many villain cards have Over in a Flash, but he is able to stay on the Cooler team because he shares pretty decent links with Cooler, but also does a lot of damage, and especially on a 120% team. And the reason that is because A, his passive increases his super attack, and B, he's an old card but with an immense modifier. So he is able to keep up damage-wise with some of these newer units just because of those two things. So I want to know if the level compensation, now that you can go up to level 140 and increase super attack even further, is going to make these old cards relevant on these teams again. Now, I don't really know if that's going to be the case, because the problem with a lot of these older cards is that they don't have the greatest link skills. For example, Broly. You're not even going to be able to use Broly if you have LR Broly, 1, but 2, he doesn't have any key links, so why would you want to run him, especially when ever since 70% meta has been, or even, I would say since 120% meta, has been about support units and making sure you have enough key to always get off super attacks. So I don't know why you'd run a card like that. Tech Cell, he might fit on the Extreme Tech team. I'm not 100% familiar with that team, but it's one of those things where it's like, maybe, maybe not. This card, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I think the main reason that he's fallen off, despite being a pretty good card even still, he doesn't hold up in terms of damage as much, but he had Over in a Flash, which I get as the Super Saiyan 3 link, but it's just that isn't great enough to hold up in terms of being a linking partner long term. And then you have cards whose main purpose was never really damage at all, like Janemba and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, whose purposes were to tank, and those cards are honestly still really good on their teams. Janemba is, I would say, meta for Extreme Ant. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is good if you need a tank card for Super Strength. He's definitely not unrunnable, even though he kind of is a little bit weaker than you'd like. He offers a lot in terms of 50% chance to stun, and obviously the tanking for, I think, 7 turns, I want to say. So I don't know how much of a boost that card would get. It looks like what this is going to do is get a lot of cards that actually aren't Dokkan Fest exclusives. The one thing I would really like to see is if this feature comes for Tech Beerus, because I think Tech Beerus could be a really decent card if he got just a little bit extra put into him, because he hits pretty decently for a card that doesn't have the most amazing link skills. I just want to see what an update to him would look like, just because he's one of the cards that really gets forgotten in the grand scope of the game. I'm pretty sure he's the only card I've never pulled, I believe. Coming with the exception of newer units. Like, I still don't have Fizz Omega Shinra. I didn't go super hard for that card, in fairness, because it wasn't super useful to me, honestly. And then, of course, I don't have Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku. So I just want to see how this impacts future cards, and I want to see what cards they choose to give this to. I think that the cards that they show here could get pretty decent buffs, but again, I don't know how useful it is with this specific group of cards between Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I believe that's Int Gold Frieza. I might be incorrect on that, but let me know if I am incorrect on that. That's just what it looks like to me. I don't know if there's another Golden Frieza, I don't know, but I know about the 3 that are in the game currently. The Tech, it's not the Tech one, it's not the AGL one, so I think it's the Int one. I've never used the Int one, really, so I wouldn't know. So, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Tech Majin Vegeta, Golden Frieza, and Demon King Piccolo. I don't really know how much these guys benefit from it. Maybe Majin Vegeta I would say the most, because he might be really good in World Tournament again. I'm not entirely certain how much that would help out, though, in terms of being an overall useful card. So, let me know what you guys think of this down below. I'm excited for this, but I'm not really excited for this group of cards. I'm more just interested to see how this gets implemented later on down the line. If it makes Super Saiyan 3 Goku a amazing unit that's like almost must run on AGL again, then I will probably change my opinion on that, because that'll be awesome. I have that card sitting in my box. I haven't done anything with him, but it'll be cool if it does provide that kind of boost. It makes cards really good that are kind of outdated. But I'm really interested to see what they do with the card selection going forward, because this isn't the strongest starting set. So anyway, that is going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys think of this new feature down below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time for more Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle.